All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Tanvi Khurana. The headlines. BJP-led NDA retains power in Assam for the second consecutive term. Trinamool Congress retains power in West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee loses her own seat in Nandigram. DMK set to make comeback in Tamil Nadu after 10 years. NDA secures majority in Puducherry. Left Democratic Front gets second consecutive term in Kerala. Counting underway for Panchayat polls in Uttar Pradesh. Final results expected by this afternoon. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews usage of gaseous oxygen to ramp up supply and availability of medical oxygen in the country. Haryana government imposes week-long lockdown in the state beginning today. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to embark on a 4-day visit to London beginning today to participate in G7 Foreign Ministers meeting. And Delhi Capitals beat Punjab Kings by 7 wickets in IPL cricket. As the number of COVID cases is on the rise, we appeal to our listeners to take all precautions and all those above 18 years of age to get vaccinated without any hesitation. The vaccination for persons of age between 18 and 44 has begun at designated facilities. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news. In Assam, BJP-led NDA has retained power for the second consecutive term. The NDA has secured 75 seats in the 126-member assembly. While BJP won 60 seats, its allies Ahom Gana Parishad bagged 9 seats and UPPL 6 seats. Congress has won 29 seats and its ally AIUDF got 10 seats. The Chief Minister and senior BJP leader Sarbananda Sonowal has won the Majuli seat by a margin of over 40,000 votes. State BJP President Ranjit Kumar Das, senior ministers Himant Biswa Sarma, Chandramohan Patowari, Ranjit Datta, Parimal Suklabaidya, Namadole and Speaker of the Assembly Hitendranath Goswami have won the election. For Congress, legislators Rakibul Hussain, Rakibuddin Ahmed and Rupjyoti Kurmi were re-elected to the Assembly. 3 senior leaders of Ahom Gana Parishad, Atul Bora, Keshav Mahanta and Phani Bhushan Chaudhary have also won from their seats. Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal has said that the success of the party in the state is the victory of the people of Assam. Talking to AIR News, the Chief Minister said that voters have endorsed the good work of the government during the last 5 years. He thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah and other central ministers for all the support. Mr. Sonowal also expressed gratitude to the party functionaries, including National President J.P. Nadda, for all the help. He said that the party will work to make Assam self-reliant in the next 5 years and fulfill the promises the party made in its Sankalpa Patra. Meanwhile, State Congress President Ripun Bora resigned from the post of party president following the Congress's dismal performance in the state. In West Bengal, ruling Trinamool Congress has retained power for the 3rd term in a row, but Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee lost her own Nandigram seat. Trinamool Congress has won 209 seats and leading on 4 seats. BJP has won 76 seats and leading on 1 seat. BJP's Shuvendu Adhikari defeated Mamata Banerjee by a margin of 1,956 votes in the key Nandigram constituency. United Front, an alliance of Left Front, Congress and the newly formed Indian Secular Front failed miserably. For the first time since independence, CPIM has scored a duck in West Bengal. In Puducherry, National Democratic Alliance NDA has secured majority in the 30-member assembly and is all set to form a government. The NDA in Puducherry consists of All India NR Congress, BJP and AIADMK. All India NR Congress has won 10 seats and BJP backed 6 seats. On the other hand, the rival front member DMK has won 6 seats and Congress 2 seats. 6 seats have gone to independents. More from our correspondent.
In the NDA alliance, the NR Congress contested in 16 seats and won in 10 constituencies, and the BJP contested for 9 seats, got 6. On the other hand, in the Secular Democratic Alliance, Congress contested in 15 places but won in 2 seats. The alliance partner DMK bagged 6 seats out of 13. To the surprise, without any political identity, 6 independent candidates placed a record in their respective constituencies. The BJP candidates John Kumar, Namachivayam and Richards John Kumar won the Kamaraj Nagar, Mannadipet and Nellithopu constituencies respectively. The NR Congress party leader Rangasamy won in Tattanjavadi seat. At the same time, he lost his second constituency Yanam to an independent candidate. The AIADMK contested in 5 seats and lost all the seats. 2 former Congress ministers, Shahjahan and Kandasamy, also lost in this battle. Chandramohan, Air News, Puducherry.
In Kerala, Left Democratic Front LDA has retained power for the second consecutive term. Pinarayi Vijayan government has become the first government to get the second successive term in 4 decades. In the 140-member assembly, CPM has won 62 seats, CPI 17, Congress 21, IUML 15, Kerala Congress M 5 and JD Secular, Kerala Congress and NCP 2 seats each. In Tamil Nadu, DMK led by M.K. Stalin is all set to return to power after a gap of 10 years. The DMK alliance has won 136 seats and leading on 22 seats. Ruling AIADMK has won 68 and leading in 8 others.
In Gujarat, ruling BJP candidate Nimishaben Sutar has won the Morwa Hadaf assembly seat that went to by-poll last month. She has defeated her nearest Congress rival Suresh Bhai Katara by a huge margin of 45,432 votes. Morwa Hadaf ST reserve seat in Panchmahal district had witnessed by-poll as outgoing independent MLA Bhupendra Khan was disqualified as his certificate of scheduled tribe was found invalid. With this win, the strength of BJP in the 182-member state assembly has reached 112. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated TMC President and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee for her party's win in the state assembly elections. In a series of tweets, Mr. Modi said the centre will continue to extend all possible support to the West Bengal government to fulfill people's aspirations and also to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. He also thanked people of the state who have blessed BJP, saying BJP's presence has significantly increased from a negligible presence earlier. The Prime Minister added that his party will keep serving the people and applauded each and every BJP worker for their spirited effort in the polls. Mr. Modi also congratulated Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and the LDF for winning the assembly elections. He said they will continue working together on a wide range of subjects and to ensure India mitigates the COVID-19 global pandemic. He expressed gratitude to the people of Kerala who supported BJP in these elections. He also congratulated DMK Chief M.K. Stalin for the victory in the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections, saying they will work together for enhancing national progress, fulfilling regional aspirations and defeating the COVID-19 pandemic. The Prime Minister also thanked the people of Tamil Nadu who supported NDA and assured the people of the state that they will keep working towards the state's welfare and to further popularize the glorious Tamil culture. He applauded party workers for their hard work.
Counting of votes for UP Panchayat elections is underway on the second day today. Counting continued overnight and all the results are expected to be announced by this afternoon. Counting is taking place at 829 centres. The State Election Commission said 1,12,358 members of Gram Panchayat, 16,510 Gram Pradhans and 35,812 members of Kshetra Panchayat have been elected so far. Lakhs of candidates were in fray for over 7,32,000 seats in Gram Panchayat wards, more than 58,000 in Gram Panchayats, 75,852 in Kshetra Panchayats and 3,050 in Zilla Panchayats. Elections were held over 4 phases in the state. More than 3 lakh candidates were elected unopposed. The State Election Commission has made elaborate arrangements for the counting. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has asked district magistrates and senior police officials to ensure proper COVID protocol at the counting centres. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a virtual summit with his British counterpart Boris Johnson tomorrow. India and UK have enjoyed a strategic partnership since 2004. It has been marked by regular high-level exchanges and growing convergences in diverse areas. The summit will be an important opportunity to elevate multifaceted strategic ties and enhance cooperation on regional and global issues of mutual interest. Both leaders will also discuss COVID-19 cooperation and the global efforts to fight the pandemic. The External Affairs Ministry said a comprehensive roadmap 2030 will be launched during the summit, which will pave the way for further expanding and deepening India-UK cooperation over the next decade across 5 key areas. These are people-to-people relationship, trade and prosperity, defence and security, climate action and healthcare.
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will embark on a 4-day visit to London beginning today to participate in a meeting of foreign ministers of G7 countries. India has been invited to the meeting as a guest country. The G7 members are Britain, the US, Canada, France, Germany, Italy and Japan. The meeting is expected to discuss ways to deal with the coronavirus pandemic, besides several other pressing issues facing the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a meeting to review the usage of gaseous oxygen to ramp up supply and availability of oxygen in the country. Many industries like steel plants, refineries with petrochemical units, industries using rich combustion process and power plants have oxygen plants which produce gaseous oxygen, which is used in the process. This oxygen can be tapped for medical use. A report.
The strategy being used is to identify industrial units which produce gaseous oxygen to requisite purity, shortlist those which are closer to cities, and establish temporary COVID care centers with oxygenated beds near that source. A pilot for 5 such facilities had already been initiated and there is good progress on this. This is being accomplished through PSUs or private industries operating the plant and coordination of centre and state governments. It is expected that around 10,000 oxygenated beds can be made available in a short period of time by making temporary hospitals near such plants. State governments are being encouraged to set up more such facilities with oxygenated beds to deal with the pandemic. With Dipendra, Suparna Saikya, IR News, Delhi.
The Prime Minister also reviewed progress on setting up of pressure swing adsorption PSA plants. He was informed that around 1,500 PSA plants are in the process of being set up through contribution of PM CARES, PSUs and others. He directed officials to ensure speedy completion of these plants. Principal Secretary to Prime Minister, Cabinet Secretary, Home Secretary, Secretary Road Transport and Highways and other senior officials participated in the meeting. Meanwhile, the External Affairs Ministry has clarified its response to queries regarding medical requirements of foreign high commissions and embassies in India. In a statement, the spokesperson of the External Affairs Ministry, Mr. Arindam Bagchi, said on Sunday that the Chief of Protocol and heads of divisions are in constant touch with all high commissions and embassies, and MEA is responding to their medical demands, especially those related to COVID. The statement also urged everyone not to hoard essential supplies, including oxygen.
As the United States continues to deliver vital medical supplies to India to support its fight against COVID-19, a flight from America carrying 1.25 lakh vials of the antiviral drug Remdesivir landed in India yesterday. The Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Arindam Bagchi tweeted that 4th flight from US has arrived carrying 1.25 lakh vials of Remdesivir. He welcomed this support from the United States. On Saturday night, a flight from the US carrying 1,000 oxygen cylinders, regulators and other medical equipment landed in India. Earlier on Friday, the US deployed its first 2 planes carrying the initial emergency relief supplies, including oxygen cylinders, regulators, pulse oximeters donated by California, rapid diagnostic tests, and N95 masks. Under the immediate emergency COVID-19 assistance, Washington is providing 1,700 oxygen concentrators, an initial delivery of 1,100 cylinders and multiple large-scale oxygen generation units to support up to 20 patients each to India. The Biden administration has also redirected its own order of AstraZeneca manufacturing supplies to India, which will allow it to make over 20 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. Meanwhile, Indian Air Force C-17s are airlifting 4 cryogenic oxygen containers from Frankfurt in Germany to Hindon Air Base in Delhi and 450 oxygen cylinders from Brize Norton in the UK to the Chennai Air Base in Tamil Nadu. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. BJP-led NDA retains power in Assam for the second consecutive term. Trinamool Congress retains power in West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee loses her own seat in Nandigram. DMK set to make comeback in Tamil Nadu after 10 years. NDA secures majority in Puducherry. Left Democratic Front gets second consecutive term in Kerala. Counting underway for Panchayat polls in Uttar Pradesh, final results expected by this afternoon. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews the usage of gaseous oxygen to ramp up supply and availability of medical oxygen in the country. Haryana government imposes week-long lockdown in the state beginning today. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to embark on a 4-day visit to London beginning today to participate in G7 Foreign Ministers meeting. And Delhi Capitals beat Punjab Kings by 7 wickets in IPL cricket. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Over 15 crore 68 lakh beneficiaries have been inoculated with COVID-19 vaccine jabs in the country so far. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry has informed that over 18 lakh 26,000 beneficiaries have been administered the doses of vaccine in the country within 24 hours. As the country entered the third phase of vaccination drive, a total of 86,023 beneficiaries aged between 18 and 44 years have received their first dose across 11 states and union territories. The active number of COVID-19 cases is continuously rising in the country due to spike in cases in several states and union territories. As a result, the recovery rate is continuously declining. However, India has registered over 3 lakh recoveries in a single day from this infectious disease. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry said over 3,07,000 patients have recovered within 24 hours. So far, over 1 crore 59 lakh patients have already recovered from COVID-19 in the country. The ministry also said over 3,92,000 cases were registered in the past 24 hours across the country. Meanwhile, Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba yesterday reviewed various aspects of COVID-19 preparedness in Delhi. Officials of Delhi government made a presentation in the meeting covering issues of recent trends in active cases, deaths and positivity rate, availability and expansion plans of medical infrastructure and status of oxygen availability. The meeting was attended by Home Secretary, Niti Aayog member V.K. Paul, Delhi Chief Secretary and other senior officials.
Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar has announced complete lockdown from today till 9th of May all over the state in view of rising cases of COVID-19. The Chief Minister made the announcement while talking to media yesterday. Talking to AIR News, Haryana Health Minister Anil Vij said the lockdown will be for a week starting from today and the decision has been taken to break the corona chain.
ये 3 तारीख दिन सोमवार से 1 हफ्ते के लिए सारे हरियाणा में जो पूर्ण लॉकडाउन रहेगा। हरियाणा में कोरोना के केसेस बढ़ते जा रहे हैं। लगभग 1 लाख एक्टिव पेशेंट्स हैं आज की तारीख में। रोजाना 15,000 के करीब इसमें और ऐड हो रहे हैं। इसलिए इसकी चेन को तोड़ना बहुत आवश्यक है। इसलिए सरकार ने फैसला किया कि 1 हफ्ते के लिए हरियाणा में पूर्ण लॉकडाउन लगा दिया जाए।
Gujarat has recorded 12,978 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, while 11,146 patients recovered during the last 24 hours and were discharged from the hospitals. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
The new cases of COVID-19 in Gujarat falls below 13,000 mark. Decrease in the new cases since last 3 days is a big sign of relief. Similarly, the number of patients recovering from the COVID-19 also started increasing. Maximum 4,683 new cases of COVID-19 reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 1,494 new cases. 153 patients lost their lives yesterday. Gujarat has now 1,46,818 active cases at present, out of which 722 patients are on ventilator. Meanwhile, more than 1,27,000 people were vaccinated in the state yesterday. Out of this, 25,712 persons were from 18 to 45 years age group. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
The strict restrictions imposed in Maharashtra are resulting in stabilizing the rising number of COVID-19 patients. Mumbai, which was once considered as the hotbed of the global pandemic, is continuously showing improvement after the implementation of restrictions. The positivity rate of the metropolis has come down significantly during last 7 days, and it has reduced the burden on the health facilities of the state. A report from our Mumbai correspondent.
The positivity rate of Mumbai has declined to 11.89% on May 1st, 2021 after the strict restrictions put in place all over the state. The positivity rate of Mumbai was on peak in the first week of April, which was beyond 25%. But due to the strict restrictions and various measures done by the BMC, the positivity rate and the number of daily cases are showing declining trend. The city registered less than 4,000 daily cases for the third consecutive day yesterday. Mumbai is one of the leading cities in tests per million compared to the other cities. Mumbai's recovery rate has scaled up to 89% and the doubling rate has slowed down to 103 days. With Jeevan Bhavsar, Shailesh Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
The Madhya Pradesh government has extended Corona curfew in the capital Bhopal till 10th of May. The state reported 12,662 new cases on Sunday, while 13,890 patients recovered from the infection. With 94 deaths, the fatality count rose to 5,812. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
The curfew in force since April 12th with extensions on April 19th and 26th was to end at 6 a.m. on Monday. The Corona curfew was extended in Bhopal and Barasia town till 6 a.m. on May 10th. As per an order by District Collector Avinash Lavania, essential services and emergency travel are exempted from the curfew. The number of active cases in the state now stands at 87,189. Indore and Bhopal both have more than 11,000 active cases. The percentage of recovery has been higher than the new positive cases in 26 districts of the state. The overall recovery rate has increased to 84.19%. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
The Bihar government has declared working journalists as frontline COVID warriors, recognizing the risks they undertake to cover the pandemic. They will be vaccinated against COVID on priority basis. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said, working journalists are doing a great service to the state by providing seamless news feed, making people aware on COVID-related issues, and they are a great support for the war against COVID. The Odisha government has announced a 14-day statewide lockdown from coming Wednesday. It will be enforced till the morning of 19th of May. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
With the virus taking strides longer than usual, the Odisha government has come out with a 2-week lockdown as a last resort to track the virus down. The state has reported about 8,000 fresh cases yesterday, though more than half as many have also recovered during the period. Consequently, the state's active caseload has spiked to about 70,000. Meanwhile, the state continues to facilitate smooth and speedy transportation of medical oxygen to the states battling oxygen deficiency, with about 4,000 metric tons of medical oxygen having already been dispatched. On the other hand, the state government yesterday declared the working journalists of the state as frontline COVID warriors that would benefit around 7,000 of them. Girish Chandranath, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The Andhra Pradesh government has announced the postponement of the intermediate examinations, taking the High Court recommendations into consideration. In a statement released by Education Minister Adimulapu Suresh, stated that the examinations were scheduled to start from 5th of May, but due to spike in COVID cases across the state, the High Court has suggested reconsidering the decision and the government had postponed the examinations. The new dates for conducting inter-examinations will be announced as soon as the pandemic ceases. World Press Freedom Day is being observed today. This day is celebrated on the 3rd of May each year. This year's World Press Freedom Day theme, Information as a Public Good, serves as a call to reaffirm the importance of cherishing information as a public good. In his message, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged all governments to do everything in their power to support a free, independent and diverse media. He said, in too many countries, journalists and media workers face censorship, abuse, harassment, detention and even death simply for doing their jobs.
In IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals defeated Punjab Kings by 7 wickets at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad last night. While in another match, Rajasthan Royals defeated Sunrisers Hyderabad by 55 runs at Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi yesterday evening. Today, Kolkata Knight Riders will take on Royal Challengers Bangalore at 7:30 p.m. at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. In national capital Delhi, the sky may be partly cloudy. Minimum temperature was recorded at 25 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 38. Mumbai will have partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 27 and maximum will be around 35 degrees. Chennai will have partly cloudy sky with minimum temperature recorded at 27 degrees Celsius and maximum expected at 35 degrees. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature 27, maximum around 35. In Jammu, there will be partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature in Jammu was 24 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 39. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening. The minimum temperature was 12 and the maximum will be around 27 degrees Celsius. In Leh, the sky will be partly cloudy with temperature hovering between 3 to 18 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, minimum temperature was around 11 degrees and maximum will be around 33. The sky will be mainly clear. In Muzaffarabad also, the sky will be mainly clear but will become partly cloudy towards evening. Temperature will shift from 16 degrees in the morning to 35 degrees in the afternoon.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The front pages of all dailies permanently cover election results from West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Assam and Puducherry. Khela over, Mamta is Didi beyond Bengal, headlines The Times of India. The Statesman calls it Didi's Day. The Asian Age quotes Mamta Banerjee as saying COVID to be our top priority. In Tamil Nadu, DMK staves off ADMK challenge comes to power after a decade, writes the Indian Express. Stalin, the new southern star, headlines Hindustan Times. BJP set to form Assam government for a second term. CAA fails to hurt party is the Asian Age headline. Rangasamy to return as Puducherry CM, headlines The Hindu. Left breaks second coming jinx in Kerala, writes The Pioneer. Left TMC BJP buck anti-incumbency. DMK bags TN. Sums up The Hindu. Adar Poonawalla is quoted in the Economic Times as saying that India may face vax crunch for 2 to 3 months. The Supreme Court tells Centre to raise Delhi's oxygen quota. SOS calls persist, reports Hindustan Times.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. BJP-led NDA retains power in Assam for the second consecutive term. Trinamool Congress retains power in West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee loses her own seat in Nandigram. DMK set to make comeback in Tamil Nadu after 10 years. NDA secures majority in Puducherry. Left Democratic Front gets second consecutive term in Kerala. Counting underway for Panchayat polls in Uttar Pradesh. Final results expected by this afternoon. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews usage of gaseous oxygen to ramp up supply and availability of medical oxygen in the country. Haryana government imposes week-long lockdown in the state beginning today. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to embark on a 4-day visit to London beginning today to participate in G7 Foreign Ministers meeting. And Delhi Capitals beat Punjab Kings by 7 wickets in IPL cricket. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. With that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.